Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices, the Roundtable Edition. My name is Oliver Riera, and today's guests are the co-founders of House of Creatives. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Before we get into it, this episode is sponsored by Heart Warrior Legend, a father and son duo that goes around and spreads heart awareness to the community. If you want to support the Heart Warrior Legend brand, the family, check out the link below in the description. If you're new to this page, this podcast is all about talking to entrepreneurs and artists, aka creatives, about their struggles, their successes, their strategies in life in order to get to where they are now. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So first off, House of Creatives, right?
Yeah.
What is House of Creatives?
So House of Creatives is a 501c3 nonprofit geared towards providing opportunities and resources for underrepresented, clean creatives.
All right.
In a nutshell.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like 501c3, is that right?
Yep.
Is very difficult, first off.
Eh.
It wasn't too hard. I don't think it was.
Every single person that like is a nonprofit, has always told me it's a pain in the ass.
Running
so,
it,
the paperwork,
getting it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Getting it. You want to know the truth?
Yeah.
5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We were like in the studio. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and apply. for this right now.
5-10 minutes, and in 2 weeks I had a 501c3.
What? Okay, I don't know what they were talking about.
So
I guess
maybe they, I don't know.
It could be about the nonprofit. Maybe it takes longer for
depending on the nonprofit type.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
But it is difficult to continue being a nonprofit. There's a lot of nuances and requirements and
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about that because I feel like not a lot of people know about that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people want to be nonprofits.
Yeah.
But the way to go about it seems difficult and
it can be maybe fear of the unknown.
Makes
it difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
But essentially just like a business and application process, you're required to have a board of directors.
Right.
So it's good to kind of know that, or at least have 4 or 5 members before going into application process. So that's what we did. We had a board, a small board before we applied. Yeah.
Did you kind of like get everything together and then did it?
I mean, first you register with the state.
Okay.
As a nonprofit, and then you register with the IRS as a nonprofit. As far as having everything together, not everything was together, but
right.
You do need bylaws. You need there's a lot of things that you will need to keep your status as a nonprofit in case you get audited or something. Yeah.
Is that where the hard part comes in?
Probably. Okay, yeah.
Gotcha.
We haven't had any issues with that yet. Yeah. So I think we're smooth sailing for now.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. I would say big thing is the finances.
Yeah.
Like what we have to make sure we net zero every year for nonprofit. So
gotcha.
So
if you make any money.
Yeah. I think we can make a certain amount of money.
You can make money. It just has to be. It depends on. So there's 501c3 is like an umbrella. Under the 501c3, there's like different subcategories of nonprofits, and every subcategory has different financial requirements.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it can get. Yeah, finance is probably the hardest part. But
gotcha. All right.
Getting your 501c3 is not hard.
Yeah. But we started the organization maybe like a year and a half before we applied for it. Yeah. So we were part of some incubator program.
Yeah.
At another nonprofit called the Lighthouse Project.
Yeah.
And they pretty much gave us a space to, pretty much start, get our board together, get our bylaws, all that. And I think that really helped us, apply and be ready for,
They helped you, they actually helped you through the process?
Just gave us a space, more so,
gotcha.
give us the ability to kind of test out what we're trying to do. Essentially gave us a little office location too, just to meet and do the things that we needed to do as an organization.
Gotcha.
Have board meetings.
Yeah.
And we did our first networking event.
At the Lighthouse.
Oh, nice. Very cool. One thing I didn't do is introduce you guys.
Yeah.
My bad.
That's all right.
This is Mohammad and this is Ahmed. Hello. Okay, going back to this.
The beauty of a recorded podcast.
Right. I might even leave it. I don't know. So you guys started this a year and a half, you said?
Before we applied for the nonprofit status. Yeah. So the organization technically has been around since 2022.
Gotcha. All right. So let's go back a little bit then.
Yeah.
Let's get to know a little bit about each one of you first, and then then bring it in together. So Mohammed, why don't you start off? Like, what's your background in?
My background is in doing like corporate marketing.
Okay.
Typical 9-to-5 corporate marketing. I don't really consider myself an artist. I guess more of a musician. I play a few instruments, and I do like making beats from time to time. I made a few beats for iconic Bonder, aka Ahmed.
Nice.
And now I pretty much run my own creative marketing agency. So I do marketing for a lot of local businesses, mainly restaurants.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And actually, me and Ahmed met because I started doing photography in 2016. And it was a way for me to kind of, deal or cope with some things I was going through in life. And then I slowly got into doing music videos. And Ahmed reached out. He's like, hey, I'm an artist, hip-hop artist, and I want to do some music videos. And I was like, you know what, let me listen to your music first. Because for me, doing music videos, it kind of aligns with our values for the House of Creatives, which is being clean. In terms of content. Nothing like modern hip hop is or modern rap is. So I listened to his music and I was like, damn, bro, you're pretty talented. Can we curse on this? By the way?
Yeah.
I was like, you're pretty fucking talented, And I was like, you're dope. Like your music is really good. In terms of lyrical genius, I think he's very, very good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I definitely want to work with you, and that's kind of how our relationship started.
Right.
Apart from us knowing each other for
20 plus years.
20 plus years, growing up in the same Muslim community.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys knew each other, but you didn't know.
We never hung out. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I always hated him when I was younger.
Yeah. Wait, why?
We all grew up.
We just thought he was cool,
We all grew up at some point.
That's funny. So with photography and videography, you said you started that around 2016?
Yeah, 2016 is when I first started getting into photography. Gotcha. And I think what really made me get into it is my love for films. I really love films, on a deep level, and how films are recorded. Mainly people like Michael Mann's styles or cinematic styles, Christopher Nolan's cinematic styles. Yeah. That inspired a lot of the type of photos I take. And ironically, I haven't taken a photo for leisure in maybe 4 years.
Yeah. Well, you've been busy. Right?
Yeah. And then I got into the video aspect of it through music videos.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. And then so photography, videography, and then marketing?
Yeah, so I studied business in school. Okay. Mainly data analytics. And when I did that for work, I didn't really like it. I've always liked marketing and advertising, thinking of creative slogans. And it's funny because the show Mad Men really pushed me to pursue that.
Oh, interesting.
And I always watch that show when I'm kind of creatively stuck. Huh. And it always helps me come up with more ideas or better ideas. Yeah. And that's kind of the route I wanted to take professionally.
Gotcha.
So I think it was, after COVID, I just left my corporate job and I had an opportunity to partner with a local restaurant, and I just took my try at doing marketing for a business. Yeah, it was my first project, and they did really well, 300% increase in sales within 6 months.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I put them on the map, and they're kind of a landmark now.
Right. So you didn't have to go to your typical college to go through all the training kind of thing
for the market to run the restaurant.
The marketing part.
The market? No, I mean I think people are just born with certain skills. Yeah. Or they have passions, and that's where their skills lie as well. And for me, it was marketing. So I never wanted to study in college. I wanted to learn a different skill, which was data analytics. It kind of forced me to learn it because I would never do it on my own. Yeah.
So then I guess that goes hand in hand with marketing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, now marketing analytics is big now too.
Yeah.
In the market. But for me, it's more about the challenge of making someone like something they don't know about or they don't know. And I mean, there's big inspirations, like Apple's a huge inspiration, of course.
Sure.
They're marketing geniuses.
Yeah.
And I like that aspect of it. Slogans, advertising.
I could tell you got a lot of passion for it. Just
thank you.
Just about you talking. Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I think everybody needs somebody like you, honestly.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, every single business needs somebody like you.
Well, thank you.
Sure. So,
You heard him. So
if you need somebody,
reach out.
hit him up. Link below. Right? Ahmed, aka
Iconic
Bond. How you doing, man? You
Good,
doing good?
man.
Yeah.
Good.
What's your background? Oh, you got your T-shirt too. Nice.
Well, this hasn't been dropped
Wait,
yet.
is yours?
It's a new design.
When did you make this?
Huh?
When did you make this?
Are you proud of me?
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I did it pretty nicely, right?
It's really nice.
Yeah. That's what happens when you stop helping me. Yeah.
I like it too. Yeah, it's nice and clean. It's not like too busy.
Yeah. I like it. It's got the anime
and you can
clouds.
still read everything.
It's really nice. Is this DTF printing or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's dope, dude.
Yeah.
I like it.
Trying to be cool like this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not cool.
Catch up.
Man, my background actually has nothing to do with being creative. I was never a creative person growing up. Got my degree in chemistry in college.
Really?
Worked in the pharmaceutical industry. Still work in the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
But I do a lot of community work, mainly youth work. So like youth mentorship.
Is that
youth
something you've always done, or?
Yeah, for the most part since college. So I had this youth group that I was leading for probably about 10 years. And during that time, I noticed like a stark change in their personalities and the things that they wanted, things that they desired in life. And I just remembered going through that myself. And I remember music being a big proponent of that. And so I just randomly one day asked them, I was like, hey, what kind of music do you guys listen to? And they were like, hip hop music. I was like, all right, well, let me listen to the hip hop music you guys are listening to. And, because I was still listening to old school hip hop. I never really switched up my, I never went with the times.
Right.
And so I realized that today's hip hop is very different after they like turned me on to a lot of it than the hip hop I grew up with. I feel like the hip hop I grew up with was much more raw and real and like inspirational, motivational, or storytelling. Like there was still like the fun aspect, the gangster aspect, the drugs and the partying aspect, but it wasn't like it is now. I feel like now that has become the main hip hop genre. And they're just Anyway, so not gonna dig too much into that, but from seeing that change within them, I decided to take my hand at hip hop.
Okay.
I've always loved hip hop. I was always writing poetry before, so I had a sense of rhyme and wordplay. It's always been something that I loved. And so I took my hand at it, and
I think that's a big part of it. Big part of being an artist is learning how to write poems. Yeah. Because you get to,
if you're a songwriter, for sure.
Yeah.
So this happened probably around 2016, 2017. I decided to have at it, and at the same time, one of my good friends, Bad Logic, who produced my first album completely. Album is called Day One. He randomly hit me up one day. He was like, "Hey, I'm getting FL Studio." And I was like, cool, I'm going to buy a recording mic. And so he started making beats, and I started messing with his beats and making music.
Oh, nice.
And through the years, just been
kind of just aligned there, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's very cool. Did you like kind of hit the ground running on that? Yeah,
it took about 6 months to kind of get used to rapping on beat. Writing poetry is very different than writing to a beat.
Right.
Because hip hop, I guess that's one of the most important, is being on beat.
Yeah.
If you're not on beat, it's going to sound really bad.
Right.
And so for the first few months, I sounded really bad because I was still trying to figure out that cadence and flow with the beat. Like, how do I fit in? But yeah, once I got that, it's been, that's like the best, like my favorite thing to do in life is make music.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. Yeah. So let's see. As far as you guys came together, right? So when did this House of Creatives kind of spark up, and why?
Yeah, so me and Mo got together, 2017, 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. I don't know. And he just basically, he was with me for the rest of the journey, right? So he saw my struggle in being an independent artist.
Yeah.
Trying to do everything myself, from the creation of the music, distribution of the music, performing, getting opportunities, all of these things, right?
Yeah.
And he also got to see like the lack of resources and opportunities. And so after a few years, we were like, listen, we feel like we could fix this problem for like other artists, because it was something that it wasn't just, we saw it firsthand with me and my journey, but it was something a lot of artists also shared, like as a gap, as a struggle. Like, we don't know how to do this, we don't know how to do that. Like, we would meet artists who created a ton of music, but it's like, where's your music at? Oh,
they don't know what to do with it.
They don't know how to distribute. They don't know how to protect.
Yeah, especially like in a kind of a local way too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do something that kind of fixed that problem, to fill that gap. And so the idea of a House of Creatives came about. And we also wanted to give the opportunity, and I know Mo kind of mentioned it, the clean aspect. The clean aspect is very important to us. Because of, so kind of going back to that story, right, of the kids that I was mentoring, all of their motivation was negative. All of it was negative. It was vulgar and negative. And don't get me wrong, I listen to vulgar hip hop.
Yeah.
Right. But for the most part, it's motivating and inspiring. It's not telling me to just do drugs and just live with depression and be okay with it.
Right.
And I'm not saying all hip hop is like that. It's just that seems to be a huge theme in hip hop, at least at that time. And so we wanted to provide resource and opportunity to those artists, because we feel like those artists, the ones that are inspiring, that are motivating, that have a good story to tell, whether that story is full of struggle or not, it's still a story that they can tell, and be able to tell it to people of any age, of any background. And that was another aspect for me, because when I started making music, I just had my first child. So I have 3 kids, and I want them to be able to enjoy my music. So I had to make my music clean, or else I wouldn't let them listen to it. Like, I don't let them listen to radio hip hop. There's no way. So I wanted to also provide that to other families, other people in my situation that have kids, and it's hard to go to a show that you can't bring your kids to.
Yeah,
most of the time you just don't go.
Right?
Yeah, most of the time you just don't go.
Right.
You're like, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
And so all of that together kind of motivated us to start the organization.
Okay, so like when you guys decided to do this thing, what was the first few steps that you guys had to do?
I think it was like finding. I'll say this, like, it's a lot of work. Like,
especially in the beginning, right?
It's. I mean, I have a fair amount of free time, and he works full time, has a family, kids. So it's hard to, like, juggle so many things in life. I think one of the first things we thought of was like, who can we bring on board? Like, who are like strategic people we can pick. Who are like creatives in their own right that we can bring on board, and pretty much start with that. And then
did you pick those people? Did you pick out the certain people that you need for certain things first, and then pick the person to fill that in?
I would say, in a way, it started with our circles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have very tight circles too. And I think going back to why we started the House of Creatives, I mean, I don't know if, I guess like we can mention this, the community in North Carolina is very cliquey.
Yeah, it is.
And it's hard to get into
like the music scene.
And the music scene, it's hard to get into the scene. Yeah. There, I'm not going to use the word gatekeepers, but there are people who like won't mess with you. Like, I've seen firsthand people who, won't put Iconic on a show, and the reason why. He's good. He doesn't. They don't want him to outshine them.
Right.
Not certain individuals. That's just how the music scene is. So
that's with a lot of industries in North Carolina, especially.
It is, unfortunately.
It's like everybody wants to be separate instead of joining together.
Yeah. And that's one of our motivators, is to bring all the creatives in North Carolina together. It's not just music, but because we both have experience with the music, that's where we started. It was with the music.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we just like went to our close circles and we're like, you know, we need help. Let's start this thing. It's great because it's like music is one aspect of it, you know, and we want to do it for all types of creatives, performing arts, photographers, videographers, actual artists, you know, who like visual art, freehand art, whatever it's called. Like just a hub of creatives. That's like one of the main goals for the House of Creatives to put together.
So when you got those close group of friends together, was that hard in general? Just because I was like, did they take this seriously, or is it just kind of a thing for fun, you know, to them, you know? That kind of thing?
I don't think it was hard per se. Once we kind of understood our vision and mission, it was easy for us to say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And that's
what you brought to the table for them?
And that's what we brought to the table.
Gotcha.
Said, hey, this is why we're doing it. This is how we're trying to do it.
Yeah.
And we need the help. And so, yeah, the very first people we picked were people close to us. But kind of back to your question, we did also pick people for the roles that we needed help with.
Yeah.
Right? So one of our first board members, Cassandra Flowers, she's the policy person. She's a lawyer by trade and a creative. So it was like perfect.
Creative, yeah.
Please help. Another one is Jay Dwayne, and he's a good friend of ours, and he's our engagement director. The dude can network like a monster. Like for real, he's amazing at networking, amazing at talking. Usually he'd be the one sitting here talking, not us probably. So we were very intentional about who we picked. And we're still trying to grow the team. So we still have a lot of roles that we need help with. Most recently, we added a funding and fundraiser director, Sarah. So she's going to be helping us, you know, with grant funding and finding donors and stuff like that you know, to help us from a funding perspective. But
That's very cool, man. That's like, you guys are lucky to have those different types of people that do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not a lot of people know those that have a variety like that, you know?
And that's kind of back to Mo's point. Like, this isn't just for us, right? Like, yes, we're starting an organization, but we also want to, and we strive for this, that anybody who's part of the organization, we try to push whatever they do as well. So, like, we always highlight my music, Mo's work. Jay Dwayne has nonprofit organization of his own that he does other things with. So we try to highlight everybody's work too, because it is a community. This isn't, the House of Creatives is not the goal. The goal is the community, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the community is what builds the brand.
Yeah.
And all that.
And we try to keep diversity in the board too.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's definitely important.
Yeah.
So House of Creatives, you guys just don't put on events, right? What is it that you guys provide for the creatives, I guess you could say?
So for the first few years, that's what we've kind of been, I would say, stuck in this weird space. We didn't intentionally do it, but it worked. Was event management. So we've been managing. Our very first client is Holly Springs Chamber of Commerce. Gave us an opportunity to showcase what we could do as an organization as far as putting on.
That's a pretty big one for first time. I feel like.
Yeah.
It's like you're establishing yourself.
It comes back to the network. You know?
Yeah. So they gave us our first shot. We had a meeting with them, and they agreed that our vision and mission was important, and it was important to them. And they have 2 big festivals that they do every year, Springs Fest and Winterfest. And so they gave us our first shot. They said, okay, let's try it out. Let's see how this works. So we were able to bring diversity into their festivals where they didn't have diversity before, right? So they had, you know, your typical festival music, your rock, your country, stuff like that. And it was like very humbling, I guess, and also like a pat on the back to the organization when we did their first Springs Fest. And there was an African-American family that came to one of our board members, like, this is the first time we've ever seen hip-hop or R&B artists on the stage. And I was like, thank you. Like, that meant a lot, right? That meant that we even at that moment, where we were just trying things out, we were able to have an impact, even though it seems kind of small. That's kind of the whole part of the organization's mission and vision is diversification of the talent, underrepresented talent, right? Providing opportunities for the underrepresented communities.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing that for a couple of years, and now we're trying to go into a different space.
Yeah. I think now we started with the vision of mentorship.
Okay.
But mentorship requires a lot. So, I mean, it's like it's
with
like
the creatives?
Yeah.
with the
Gotcha.
creatives. So we need to get to a point, but there's so much that needs to happen before we can get to that point. Even like, I think phase one, we had phases of where we wanted to go.
Business plan.
And phase one was still within the music industry, just helping artists develop in terms of, whether they need to be better on at performing or how to make music, how to like use a DAW to make music, or learn sound engineering, or learn how to market themselves, how to build a website, distribution, make a logo, all this stuff. So that's kind of where I would say we're headed next.
Nice.
But all that requires grants, donations, sponsorships, and we are trying to do showcases this year to kind of put our name out there more, so people can, see what we're doing, believe in our mission, and hopefully get donations and grants.
That's dope, man.
Yeah. And be able to showcase, I mean, that's kind of providing opportunities and resources. So what we've been doing for the past few years has given us some funding to be able to now actually give opportunities to the artists that we work with, outside of being able to book them if they fit the bill for like the festivals that we do manage. Now we have our own showcases, so now we could be a lot more intentional and
bring
also,
in more people too. Yeah.
and bring more people hopefully, and then also use that as an opportunity to help the artists and showcase what we can do for the artists. Because like, for example, we have a showcase coming up on the 18th, Hip Hop and R&B Showcase. It's our very first one. Typically an artist showcase, you would have like 10 to 15 artists.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting like 10, 15 minutes. I don't see that as a showcase. That's just a whole bunch of artists performing on a stage.
Right.
So we were very intentional. We only picked 4. Each one is going to get 30-minute sets to be able to truly showcase their art. But all of the background work, we also want to provide them with as much marketing as we can. So we're not just like, hey, I'm booking you for a show and you're just going to get this check and you're just going to come to the show and you're going to perform.
Right.
We're trying to be more intentional than that. We want to take professional photos. We want to do like small interviews with them to help showcase their talent before the show, to bring more people obviously to the show, but then also give them content that they can then use as artists in their portfolio, because that's something most artists have a hard time. I mean, I was lucky because I had Mo as a friend who is a photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
Most people don't have that. Right?
The good
or
ones
it costs
even.
a lot of money.
Right.
Right? So and so we're doing it as a nonprofit, and this is kind of the point of it being a nonprofit is that we're able to do this for artists without them having to pay us.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get funding from grants. We're going to get funding from the shows or the showcases or the other stuff that we do. So the artist doesn't have to worry about fronting that bill, and then we can truly provide the resource to them and help them grow.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see like when you guys have events, like have like a maybe like in the corner of maybe even in a different room or near the entrance or however you want to do it, but like have like a loungy setup with lights and a camera and like somebody's like interviewing the artists and stuff like that in between sets or something like that. I could definitely see that. That's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the vision. I think like giving them the experience, I think it's very fulfilling for us, honestly.
Yeah. You guys thinking about doing like workshops for artists and stuff like that?
Yeah,
hopefully. Yeah.
That'd be dope.
So like Mo was saying, I mean, long term, we want this to be a much bigger thing than just doing events, and we want it to be an organization that any artist could come to for any need that they need.
Yeah.
Right. whether it be marketing, whether it be, can you help me with distribution? Can you help me with recording? Can you help me with whatever it may be, at least for the music side, right? Like long term, I would love for it to be a full production kind of company, essentially, that could do anything from music, visual arts, movies, TV, whatever it may be. Like, we want to expand as much as we can as an organization. But at least initially, just for the music, from the music side of things, we want people to be able to come and say, hey, I need help with this.
Yeah.
You know,
that's awesome.
We're essentially incubators for artists.
Right. Yeah. I like that a lot, dude. Do you vet creatives, or is it just anybody that wants to do it?
We do vet.
Okay.
Mainly because of the clean aspect. So,
right.
And we want to be intentional about the underrepresented artists as well. Not that we won't work with artists from non-underrepresented communities, but we want to focus on those artists because those are the artists that don't get the opportunities typically, right? Yeah. And then clean artists because that's the brand. Yeah. The brand is that we're providing clean entertainment for anybody to be able to enjoy.
I like that. I feel like you guys are gonna on the right track and stuff like that.
Hopefully. Yeah. We don't know yet, right? We're on a track.
On a good track. You got good heads on your shoulders. Your intention is there. The passion is there.
Yeah.
And those two things alone will get you far.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a show coming up in a couple of days.
We have an event April 18th. It's going to be at the Portal venue in Raleigh. It's going to be a hip hop and R&B showcase. It's open for all ages. Anybody can come to the show. It's going to be clean, family friendly. We got 4 amazing artists on the show. Eternal, the MC, and Lena Jackson are our hip hop artists. And then Donovan Harrell and Tia Elaine are the R&B artists. So hope you guys can make it out. Instagram is probably the best place that you can find information, and it's at thoc.hq. That's our Instagram for the House of Creatives headquarters, basically. And there's a link on there, and it'll give you all the information you need about the show.
Yeah, and I'll link that description down below as well if anybody wants to check it out.
Yeah,
a little bit easier access and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So wow, yeah, I appreciate you guys being on the show.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
You guys are obviously still in the process of building a team and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So although the organization started in 2022, we're always looking for more people to be a part of the organization, part of the leadership team, part of our volunteering team. We try to invite creatives, to be a part of the leadership and the board, and but we also understand that not everybody is a creative, and we still need their expertise.
The business side and all that stuff.
Yeah. So if you're interested in being part of a nonprofit, whether it be on the board of directors, leadership, volunteering, anything like that, we invite you to connect with us. I'm sure we would, can use your expertise, and would love to have you on the team.
Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Who are the organizations that we've worked with that pretty much have helped us get here?
The Lighthouse Project, number one. They helped us. They were the incubator.
Holly Springs Chamber of Commerce.
Gave us our first opportunity. The Portal
HQ,
who we're partnering with to do our showcases for this year.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah. And so the Portal HQ is a dope creative space. It's at the Royal Building across from Meredith on Hillsborough Street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we started doing jam sessions with them every second and fourth Wednesday of every month.
Oh, nice.
So it's an open jam session. Pretty much the objective is to bring anybody who plays any instrument or can sing or just wants to vibe out and just create music.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
And it helps a lot of people who have like some stage fright or they're not really, their skills aren't as fine-tuned as others. It's a great way to, kind of learn and create, I think.
Yeah.
Is that something where like they just show up and sign up or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
It's open,
Completely
it's free.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's on the website and Instagram?
It's on our Instagram and website, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. I think you guys are doing great things. I'm looking forward to the growth, man. Honestly, and I'm going to see you guys in like 5 years, and you can have like, I don't know, just be a lot bigger.
Hopefully.
And have like all sorts of workshops with like amazing people.
Yeah. The goal is to be able to do it full time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh yeah,
We
for
can
sure.
do that full time.
Yeah. And then I hope this helps anybody out there that is a creative, is an artist, in music, in even graphics or any kind of creative, honestly. Let's all join together instead of being separate. I think that's the key here.
Yeah.
And the more we could help people, the more we could help one another, the more everybody eats. Everybody grows. We forget that. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys being on the show again.
Thanks for having us, man.
Oliver.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it, Oliver.
Absolutely.